Master Yoda said there is no try, there is only do. But have you ever tried really hard at something and therefore there would be a try? What's funny about it is you get further and further down the path of trying, and the harder and harder whatever it is that you're trying to do gets. It's a bit of a riddle, and today I want to break it down for you and explain exactly why there really is no try. There is only do. I'm going to break down Master Yoda's riddle just for you in today's video. My name is Bootsy Greenwood, and I've helped thousands of people transform their lives with the practical principles of reality transurfing. And today I'm going to break down why there is no try, there is only do, and how you can get to your goal with a path of least resistance. So hustle culture tells you that you have to grind yourself to the bone in order to accomplish anything. But what if that's simply not the case? What if grinding yourself just turns you into dust? A few years ago, I was working on a tree farm, and it was absolute drudgery. And it really wasn't even the work itself, it's that we had to try so hard and all the time, work, work, work. And it was like we were always working, but not necessarily always accomplishing the things that we needed to do. On that farm, everyone kind of had a sour attitude, and the bitterness would turn to anger, and that would lead to frustration, and then we would hate our work all the more, and that just became a downward spiral of misery and demoralization. I would hear things like, "Less talking, more shoveling, boy," and other redneck colloquialisms that completely sapped my energy and did not help to get anything accomplished. Because of that gig, I realized why people don't want to work. I get it. It is the worst. And the more that you focus on work and how hard things have to be and how you're trying, the more difficult it becomes, and the more that spiral continues to progress downward and downward into frustration and demoralization. Most people out there are going to tell you that if you want to do something, you're going to have to grind it out, and it's going to suck, and basically not even be worth the time that you've put in order to accomplish that thing. But I think if we look around us, right in front of our faces, the way that nature does things, we can actually get things done with the least amount of effort through ease and flow. Now, when I say least amount of effort, I don't mean no effort at all, okay? Hear me clearly. The path of least resistance does not mean no resistance, but it does mean there's a simple solution to complex problems, and there's a way to move in the flow that is efficient, like nature does herself. If we learn to follow flow, then we can find a better path that's not demoralizing, that's not frustrating, that's not absolute drudgery, as we take action and work to do the thing that we want to do, as opposed to trying and spinning our wheels and getting frustrated and stuck in the mud. If you're interested in learning exactly how to do just that and find the path of least resistance toward your goal, I would invite you to click the link underneath this video, hop on a call with me, and we'll talk about how we can establish a foolproof process to you accomplishing your goal. So nature follows the path of least resistance, and guess what, guys? You're nature. We're all nature. So this option is also available to us. Now, very often we create a ton of friction, we create importance, we create resistance, and we try and try and try to our goal, as opposed to finding that path of least resistance. But that is up to us to implement. As easy as summer becomes fall, nature moves to the next season. And like Jeff Goldblum says in Jurassic Park, life will find a way. And it finds that way through the most efficient means possible. When people talk about manifestation, what is it that they're really talking about? Is probability. It's what is the most likely thing to happen next, based on all of the events leading up to this one. So in probability, the highest statistical probable thing to have happen next is going to be the thing that manifests in this reality. So think about the model like this. All things are possible, and they all exist in the mental world. And based on what is the most likely thing to happen next, that is the thing that nature chooses, right? So it follows a pattern, and the most probable thing comes into existence, that is what manifestation is. Every animal, every plant, every being in this world has its own goal, and it's consistently moving toward that goal. Think of a tree. A tree grows where? To the sun. If another tree gets in the way of that tree, what does it do? It continues to grow toward the sun, and it finds the path of least resistance, the most probable way for it to move in the direction. It doesn't grow through the other tree. It goes around that tree, and it finds the most efficient path of least resistance in order to accomplish its goal. Now, we as human beings can do exactly the same thing, and that's exactly what we should do or may want to do. As we pursue our goals, if we have a simple strategy, something that is very efficient and moves us in the path of least resistance toward our goal, that is going to give us the most likely path of accomplishing the goal. Not hustle, 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 grind, 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 right? If you've ever heard of the Pareto principle, that you get 80% of your results from 20% of your effort and vice versa, then we can leverage that to make sure that we're moving in the path of least resistance and not consistently spinning our wheels doing mundane tasks and things that don't even matter and don't even put us any closer to our goal. What generally happens is we wind up making things harder through our own internal resistance. We create importance, we create resistance, we create friction toward our goal, and ultimately we're fighting ourselves and getting in our own way in order to move to our goal, but we're doing it in the least efficient way possible. We're not using the Pareto principle to our advantage. We're not moving like nature does in the path of least resistance. Once again, if you want to learn exactly how to do that and implement it in your life, there's a link below this video. Click that. Hop on a call with me, and we will put a process in place for you. So friction comes in the form of importance. Whenever we make a big deal about something, the mind generally gets in the way. It starts to think and ponder and consider all these different angles and possibilities, and all that does is cause and generate more and more friction, and it makes it harder and harder for us to actually accomplish the goal that we set out to accomplish. Where we can let go of the importance of attaining the goal, then we can take action and literally just move. We can just move with intention, basically not thinking at all about the thing and just doing it. Just do it, like Nike says, just move in the direction of the goal. Let's think about it like this. If I sit down to write a page of a book, okay? And I sit there and I think, what am I going to write? What should I write about? This is going to be a great book. It's going to be the best book ever. Oh man, this book, people are going to buy this book, and this book is going to change people's lives, and it's going to be the biggest book ever. Am I ever going to write anything? Probably not. Look, there's no such thing as writer's block. Jerry Seinfeld says it himself. Now, what if I sit down and I just put the pen to paper and start writing? Is it going to be the most brilliant thing ever crafted that comes through my fingertips? Maybe not, but I will have started down the journey, and then I can go and start editing that and make it better later instead of thinking about it and fantasizing about it. And what's the book cover going to look like? And how much is that going to cost? And who am I going to hire to do it? And blah, 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 blah. All those things just get in the way and cause more resistance, right? That's part of the 80%, not the 20% of the Pareto principle. So we want to leverage our ability to do, to have and act, to move, and just immediately begin to do that. Because the heart, it feels and knows, while the mind thinks and speaks. So all hesitation is coming from the mind, and the mind is generating that friction, that importance, all of that naggy sort of internal dialogue and behavior that completely keeps us spinning in circles and never actually getting anything done. You sit here, you want to go approach that person and tell them you like their bow tie or whatever, and the mind's like, well, maybe now's not the best time. I'll wait until they, move over there, blah, 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 right? And then what happens? You never do it, ever, okay? So instead, listen to your heart. The heart wants to go. It just wants to immediately move in that direction, and that is what it's going to do. So that's what we want to leverage, is that intention that's coming directly within us, and forget about what the mind does. Once you start to take action, the mind has to come on board. It has no choice. Now, if I sat here, and I've done this before, and sat about here, and what am I going to talk about in this video, and how am I going to film it, and what's the perfect angle, and where's the right lighting, and oh, where's the perfect place to shoot it? The more that I do that, the harder it gets to create the video. So I hope that's clarified a little bit about intention and why Yoda says there is no try, there is only do. The more you try, the harder it gets. The more you hate the process, the more difficult it's going to get. We always love doing that which we're good at, and we're always good at that which we love doing. Now, ask yourself a question: which one comes first? Is it that you love the thing that you're doing so you get good at it? Or is it that you do the thing and then you get good at it and then you start to love it? So once we start to act, once we start to have intention, and instead of trying, we do, that is when we start to see results. That is when we start to improve, and that is when we begin to see results from our goal being accomplished by moving the ball forward. Just pushing the needle one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful. If you've enjoyed it, hey, we have a free school group. You can learn reality transurfing today. Oh, wow, that's bright. You can learn reality transurfing today, in one day. Click the link below. There's a link there for the school group as well. Hope to see you on a call. Really appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day. Peace.